Welcome to the Friends of Zane Adams, aka FOZA podcast, bringing awareness of postpartum depression, suicides, and the children who are left behind. We'll be spotlighting positive outcomes from mothers as well as healthcare experts and counselors. Would you know the signs of PPD? Would you know how to help a loved one? Stay tuned. As a community, we can do more to support maternal mental wellness.
Welcome to the FOZA podcast for maternal mental wellness. I'm Paulette Smith, and this is episode 38. Before proceeding, I need to say a few words about triggers. This is a safe place. However, we may discuss topics that can be sensitive and may act as a trigger for some members of our audience. The content we discuss serves to provide information, education, and advocacy only. If you're experiencing an emergency, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 988. If you're not experiencing an emergency, but you're seeking consultation, please check with your doctor or your professional caregivers. And if you still feel as if your voice is not being heard, please do not give up. Don't stop seeking help. Visit us online at FOZAinc.org, and we'll try to assist you in finding resources in your local area. You're not required to provide us any private or sensitive information. Just go to FOZAinc.org and click on FOZA Finder. Well, FOZA fans, our guest today, Shauna Rowe, is a registered dietitian nutritionalist. She hails from Queens, New York, where her Jamaican heritage and her mother's passion for cooking sparked her love for nutrition. And with a Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Studies from Howard University and a year-long dietetic internship under her belt, Shauna has dedicated her career to empowering women, birthing people, and their support circles through informed nutritional choices. Shauna founded Dixon Dietetics, LLC, in honor of her late mother, Joyce Dixon, who lovingly nurtured mothers and babies in her home daycare. This initiative is dedicated to guiding mothers through the transformative experience of pregnancy, providing vital nourishment and unwavering support. Shauna's mission aligns beautifully with FOZA's commitment to maternal mental wellness and making her insights invaluable to our birthing community and for those of us caring for them. Today we're going to talk about the power of nutrition during your perinatal and postpartum journey. So if you're pregnant or planning to be, or you know someone who is, then stay right where you are and help me welcome Shauna Rowe. Hi, Shauna. Welcome to the FOZA podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself?
Very, very blessed. The weather is really great, and I'm just enjoying it. It's a little bit cool, but like it like that. And I'm just so glad that you're taking the time to share nutritional information with us today, not only because it's so important for moms, but also because we'll get to know more about you and your passion. So go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Thank you again. So my name is Shauna Rowe, and I'm a registered dietitian. I've been practicing for about 8 years now, and I got started in nutrition kind of on a fluke. I went to school as a physician assistant major to begin with, and fell in love with nutrition, and here I am. My mother has always had me in the kitchen teaching me about foods. She was born in Jamaica, and they use a lot of different herbs and things like that as curative foods. So it was really informational learning that from her. And then that's when I got started later on with my private practice, Dixon Dietetics, general nutrition private practice, where I was helping clients with a range of nutritional needs. I did find the work valuable. However, I was starting to experience burnout, and I realized that I was missing something. I wanted more joy in my work and fulfillment to really feel like I was making a change. And this reflection also came at a time when I started beginning my own fertility journey, which then shifted the focus of my focus in life and eventually my entire career. And I started researching prenatal nutrition and found that there's a lot of conflicting information out there on that Dr. Google. So it really made it hard to find out what advice was really credible or science-backed.
Wow.
And this really inspired me to dig deeper and realize how crucial it was to have reliable information to support both fertility and prenatal health. Throughout my formal education, we really did not focus much on prenatal nutrition, so I really took it upon myself to pursue specialized training in this area, and I did complete a few courses and trainings with early life nutrition to get specialized in both fertility and prenatal nutrition. And this really helped me to feel like I had the confidence and the tools needed to help women out there. After losing my mother, I felt like I needed to honor her memory in some way. So I really dedicated my practice to her because she really took care of anyone who needed guidance or support, especially mothers and babies. And I knew I wanted my career to reflect her spirit and to honor the way that she mothered so many, not just by caring for people, but really empowering them to be their best self. So I then redefined Dixon Dietetics as a perinatal nutrition practice. So I work with mamas from fertility through postpartum, really help guide them through nutrition along that really critical time in their lives.
Well, as you say, it is a critical time, and your experience, your life experience, and your love for your mom and your passion for nutrition has led you here, and we're so glad that, I'm personally glad that I met you, and I know by the time we get through speaking here today, many others will be glad that they met you as well. I know that you said something very important, and it's this way with a lot of issues surrounding perinatal, postpartum, the pregnancy period, and that information that people wish they had, or that they don't know. They know something is missing, or they don't know something is missing because they don't know enough about their own insecurities when it comes to especially a first-time pregnancy. And that's some of the questions that we have coming into us sometimes, that those myths or those points where you don't know if it's really true, or it might have been true for someone else, but might not be true for you. Can you tell us, and I'm just going to name a few of them that our audience has sent in. You're eating for two. All you need is you just keep eating what you like, or if you're feeling sick and you can't eat, don't worry about it because nutrients, vitamins, that's all you need. That's just a couple. There were several that people have sent in, and I'm so glad that we have a specialist here who can tell us some of the myths that you might have heard moms talking about and something that you might want to debunk.
Definitely. I definitely hear you're eating for two very often, but that is very not true. So calories really don't increase a whole lot throughout pregnancy, your calorie needs. In the first trimester, you should kind of really be eating as you would normally, eating the same amount of calories. You do not need any extra calories during that first trimester. The second trimester, we're going to go up maybe about 300 calories. So that's really just a snack. So not much at all. And then that third trimester, we're going to go up to about 450 calories. So a bigger snack or a small meal. So you really, really want to focus on your quality over quantity at that time too. Really focusing on balance of protein, healthy fats, complex carbs, fiber. So those are so many things that are needed, and not really necessarily trying to eat for two or just indulging in everything that you see, because you don't want to have unhealthy weight gain as well, because then that could lead to so many other complications that we want to avoid.
Absolutely.
And like you said, taking a prenatal vitamin is all you need. I've heard that one as well. A lot of OBs just tell people who are pregnant to just go ahead and take a prenatal. So definitely prenatals are needed because they're going to help fill in the nutrition gaps where we're missing them from foods, and also really increasing certain nutrients that we need. Everyone knows about folate. Iron is really needed. Choline is really needed. But you still want to make sure that you are getting nutrient-dense foods with those items in it, because our body really does prefer to get its vitamins and nutrients from food and then use supplements to do exactly that, supplement the diet, not be the sole source of those vitamins and those nutrients. And along that line, all prenatal vitamins are not created equal. There's so many different brands with different varying levels of key nutrients, and some really lack the essential nutrients. Like choline, I talked about that one because that's a pretty big supplement or molecule, and so a lot of people don't like to put it in their supplements because it costs too much. And then also making sure that you have the right form of certain vitamins. And that's a whole other debate about like methylated folate and folic acid. So really choosing a really quality prenatal is also going to be important.
I wanted to ask you, in choosing and making sure you're getting the best, kind of prenatal vitamins that are really going to fit your needs, is that something that you would help your clients with, or do you work with their doctors to make sure that they have the right fit?
So I do help my clients with that. A lot of doctors just say pick a prenatal. I really do help my clients with that. I go over their labs to decide which prenatal is really going to meet their needs if they have any new deficiencies starting out. And then we go over a few key, really well-rounded supplements. And then we pick one that's going to best meet their needs.
Excellent. You mentioned one of the ingredients or one of the vitamins that might have some cost associated with it, a higher cost associated with. One of the questions that we get coming in on our comments is about budget and about the fact that eating all of the things that you should be eating and balancing things the way you should might cost more. Is that a myth, or is there any substance to that?
It can vary. Unfortunately, sometimes it does cost a little bit more up front, but I think in the long run, it's really worth it because we're helping to mitigate all those health problems that could arise from eating poorly. So at the same, sometimes it can be a little bit more costly, but there are ways to definitely go around that. You don't necessarily need to buy fresh fruits and veggies. Frozen is perfectly fine. If you need to use canned, go for the low sodium options. We can rinse them off. So there are definitely ways that we can eat healthy on a smaller budget if needed, because I know prices of groceries are through the roof. So definitely understand the budget constraints, but there are ways to definitely work around it to make it work for everyone's budget.
That is good news. That's good news. Because we want them to eat healthy, but we also know that sometimes the budget can get in the way. But we know that it's worth it to find all the ways we can to get the nutrients that we need and still, not be too concerned about the other things that a mom might have going on. And speaking of that, bringing in partners, family, and friends, when we're doing something like we do every day, we eat every day, but then the time comes when a baby is on the way. And we know we might have to make some changes. And you said you don't have to raise your calorie levels that much. You would go ahead and eat as normal, but maybe you haven't been eating what you should have been eating all the time. And the people around you might not have been either. So do you have any tips for partners, families, and friends and the role they play in making sure that mom is getting nutritional needs met?
I do. I think firstly that they should be learning alongside the mom-to-be. Definitely to come to nutrition classes or appointments, we could definitely all learn together so that everyone is making a positive influence on the diet of not just mom-to-be, but their own diets as well. When one person in the house is making a change, it is really easier if everyone in the house is kind of making that healthier change. Also, assisting with meal preparation. If mom-to-be is the main one that does the grocery shopping, the meal planning, and the cooking, maybe doing it together. or switching off so that she can have some more time to rest, because we do know that this time is a pretty gruesome time and a stressful time on the body. So definitely want to make sure that she has time to be relaxing and resting during pregnancy. So assisting with meal preparation and being that emotional support, because stressing out, stress can definitely induce not great food choices, leading to eating not great food choices and not feeling well overall. So I do think those are a few things that a partner or the family can definitely help the mom to be with.
Absolutely. That rolls right into the next point that I was going to ask you about, and that is about tips for busy moms to help them stay on track with their nutrition, because some moms work right up until the time that they're going to deliver. They don't actually just sit around waiting for the baby to come, and they work outside the home. And then some moms, of course, have other small children, so they're working in the home. And if anyone has a small child, they know that is a full-time job. So any other tips for busy moms other than encouraging your family members to get on board with helping you shop and helping you prepare meals?
I would definitely say planning. I know there's a saying that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So really having a plan in place. Meal planning, what you're going to have for the upcoming week. I like to first start with what I have in my kitchen and pantry and what needs to be used up before it goes bad. So that way we're also eliminating or reducing food waste. And then I make a plan based off of that and then go grocery shopping for whatever extra is needed. Also, batch cooking and freezing meals. So if you're making one meal, let's say, a lasagna, make 2 of them and freeze one. So that next time when you just feel too tired or there's just too much going on, you don't have the time to prepare a meal from scratch that day. Take it out the freezer, throw it into the oven, and you have a home-cooked meal ready to go. And then also prioritizing quick nutrient-dense foods. So having things like Greek yogurts on hand, nuts, eggs, pre-washed fruits and veggies are ready to go. So something quick. And definitely staying hydrated. So you definitely need to make sure that you are drinking throughout the day. The last thing I would say is the slow cooker or Instant Pots. These are things that are going to be your best friend because you don't have to keep an eye on them. You just toss things into them, ingredients into them, and put it on, and it'll be ready within hours, and you're not having to stare at it all day or take it out the oven, check on it, and do all sorts of things. It's very hands-off. So that is also another thing I really like to use.
Oh, great tips. And that leads me right into your, went out to your beautiful website, and I want all you FOZA fans to go out there. It's not only informational and very easy on the eyes, information flows very beautifully out there, but saw some, not going to take your thunder, but saw some delicious dishes out there, and I want to encourage people to actually, pregnant or not, they were looking good. But the nutritional checklist, the Dixon Dietetics nutritional checklist, that is something that you actually offer for free?
Yes, it is free on my website. You can just go in there, put your email address in, and it'll get sent over to you. And I just want to be able to give people just something tangible that they could use if they didn't feel like they had the time to do a nutrition appointment or something of that sort. In it, it gives you some ideas of what labs you should be requesting from your OBs, because sometimes they don't necessarily order all the labs that I believe are crucial. It also talks about different vitamins and minerals that you need during different trimesters to make sure that you're supporting both your maternal health and the baby's health. And then we do also have a few recipes in there as well.
It's beautifully laid out, wonderful to read, and information that everyone might not know. So I'm going to suggest, if you're a mommy, if you're in your prenatal period, or even in your postpartum period, or you know someone who is, it would be worth your time to go out to the website, dixondietetics.com, and look for that checklist. It's very easy to find, and all you need to provide is your email address, and then you'll be connected, and you'll be able to get more information from Shauna as time goes on. But I definitely, so I'm definitely telling everyone, get the checklist. You're going to learn a lot when you get it. And also, Shauna, I want you to talk about the pregnancy plate perfection. Am I saying that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's just my signature program where we have 6 tailored nutrition sessions, and we dive into personalized nutrition and everything is tailored to you. I don't believe that one size fits all, so I do make sure that everything tailors to you. So I'm never going to tell you to eat something that you don't like to eat. We're always going to find something that matches what you're doing, your budget, your lifestyle, how you like to eat. And then also a roadmap to nourishment. We're going to navigate the path to nourishing both you and your little one. A lot of times, perinatal or prenatal things are just focused on baby, but mom is going through so much during this time. Her stores are really diminished and depleted. So I really like to focus on mom because baby's going to survive 9 times out of 10 and do very well, but moms are the ones who really take that impact. So I really try to support moms for a healthy pregnancy and then also set up for a healthy postpartum.
Yes, indeed. We do. I think that's just tradition, that there's a new human in the world, a new person in your life and in your home, and all of the focus kind of goes there, and sometimes moms don't get the attention that they need. And I know that working with PSI, Postpartum Support International, I know that's one of the things that organizations like that do. They're trying to focus more, put the spotlight on moms, giving them the care that they need while they're healing and while they're bonding with their baby. So with the nutritional checklist and the pregnancy plate perfection, you kind of guide them through. So when a mom first gets in contact with you, what can she expect?
So we start out with the initial assessment. So we're just going to go over her health history, her nutrition, where it's at currently, any labs that she may have had recently drawn. And then we're going to come up with the initial plan of how we're going to make sure that she's thriving as best as possible through this pregnancy. And then we meet. It varies from person to person on how often we meet, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Every 2 to 4 weeks we'll meet and then discuss further how are we implementing those goals, what are some symptoms that are coming up in pregnancy, and how can we combat that through nutrition. And then I'm also available through messaging for those quick little questions in between sessions as well.
Okay. So when she comes on board, can you give us any advice about insurance at all, if you take any kind, your payment methods or anything like that?
Yes, I do accept insurances. So I do accept Care First Blue Shield products. I accept Aetna and I accept Cigna at this time. So insurance does cover majority of nutrition, but it varies from plan to plan. Some plans only cover 3 appointments per year. And at that point, we would just, if we wanted to continue, we'd work out how we were going to adjust the price. And then some other plans are actually unlimited. So it's really, really beneficial to check if your nutrition plan, how much it does.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to know that, she can. Now tell me, is there anything that you know of that can be covered by Medicaid?
So I don't accept Medicaid. I do believe there are some dietitians that do accept Medicaid, and it does. I think it's 3 visits per year. I'm not 100%.
But that's okay. I know I have some moms who use those services, and just wanted to, I know the questions are going to come in, they're going to ask me, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. Once again, FOZA fans, I just encourage you to go out to the site, Dixon, DixonDietetics.com, Dixon Dietetics, so much information about nutrition, about the counseling services, not to mention the free nutrition checklist, and just a warm feeling. So you're taking what your mom gave you, and you're making a legacy out of it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really miss her so much, and at times it really feels like she's physically here with me, pushing me along this journey, and just remembering so many things that she taught me. So I'm so glad to be able to share so much of it with others.
Well, I'm sure she is. I'm just one of those people who believe that. I'm sure she is very proud of you, and I say that, in sincerity, that she would just, as if she was still here with you physically. I think she's just beaming, because what you're doing is so helpful. Moms need to know that everything's going to be okay from top to bottom. And nutrition is so important, and there's so many different stories going on. Like I mentioned earlier, when you were helping us bust through some of those myths, I heard you mention nuts, and I had seen a myth come through that avoiding nuts, you should avoid nuts during pregnancy. Is that a myth?
That is definitely a myth. You can definitely have nuts during pregnancy. They're giving you some protein. They're giving you some healthy fats, which is essential during pregnancy.
Wow. I mean, some of the things that when I started talking to my team about you coming on, they started looking at some of the questions that were coming in. There were too many to really even list, and some of them I had never heard before. The avoiding nuts was one of them. Also, to skip seafood.
So with seafood, what to be mindful of is definitely some people still will have sushi and things like that, raw fish, but really you want to be really mindful of having it from a very, very credible source to avoid sickness. The other thing with seafood is limiting your mercury-rich fish. So you don't want to be having too much mercury fish. So that would be the only other thing. So you don't have to avoid it, just being really mindful of your consumption of it.
Now, if a mom was a vegetarian before she started on her pregnancy journey, is it possible for her to stay a vegetarian and stay healthy?
It's most definitely possible to stay a vegetarian. I've had clients who were vegan and had very healthy, successful pregnancies. So it is really going to be extremely important with the meal planning at that time to make sure that you are hitting those key nutrients that are important to get throughout your pregnancy. So if you are vegan or vegetarian, I definitely recommend meeting with a dietitian during pregnancy so we can make sure that you're getting those balanced nutrients in and that prenatal is really filling those gaps of whatever you may be missing if you're not consuming meat products.
And would you say, even because we've talked about prenatal and perinatal, that period, but would you say no matter where she is on her journey, it's never too late to start eating healthy?
It's never too late. We can always start today. It's never too late. Postpartum, you could definitely start. Prior to pregnancy, another thing I've heard before is like we take so much time to plan our weddings, plan our birthdays, plan all these celebrations in life, but we don't take time to plan our pregnancies. So that's one thing I really, really want to advocate for, going into pregnancy prepared, because, again, you're going to have so much depleted from you that if you go in with a great supply, that you're going to feel a whole lot better throughout that pregnancy and even be able to make sure that you have a nourishing environment to grow that baby in.
Absolutely. And as Dr. Maya Angelou says, once we know better, then we do better. And so definitely would apply to this. And just like that, we've come to the end of our time. It goes so fast. My speakers always say, wow, where did the time go? But this was exciting because you've taken something that is an everyday, kind of take it for granted, sort of a life, one of our habits and our lifestyles, and you've told us how it can be so much better, especially since we're expecting another human being in the picture. It's just not just us. It's definitely the mom and the baby. But I want you to tell people in your own words how they can reach you when they want to get more information. We talked about the website, but you are prolific all over social media, so go ahead and invite people to stay with you, stay connected to you.
Again, thank you so much for having me on. You're right. Time flies so much when you're having fun. So you can definitely find me on Instagram at Dixon Dietetics. That's DIXON DIETICS. And then again, yes, the website, DixonDietetics.com. And I am also on Facebook at Dixon Dietetics. So all the things at Dixon Dietetics.
And I've visited them all, and they're all beautiful, all informational, and just exciting, bringing some excitement to nutrition. Once again, I can't wait for this to get out to the public. I can't thank you enough for having the time to come in and just tear down some of these myths that we've heard. And I'm looking forward to my audience and even newer people wanting to get with you, learn more, and share the information so that we can have healthy moms and healthy babies.
Definitely. Each one, teach one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, take care. And once again, and as we go on and new information comes out in the nutrition world, I want you to come back. If you will, come back and tell us, how things are going with your business and tell us anything new we need to know. Will you do that?
That would be lovely, definitely.
Okay, then. We'll talk to you again soon. Well, FOZA fans, now you're armed with a connection through Dixon Dietetics to better navigate what can be a challenging time of maintaining healthy eating habits. When you visit her site, be sure to request the Dixon Dietetics Nutritional Checklist. What you're going to find is a guide for each trimester to help you communicate with your medical team, your family, caregivers, the best nutritional plan for you and for your baby. This is a great tool for planning before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and in the postpartum part of your journey. We're always looking for ways to bring you relevant information for real-life situations, and we hope you're going to share this information. You're going to share this podcast. I'm looking forward to getting your comments and your feedback. And as always, we thank you. Until next time, we leave you in loving memory of Christina LaShawn Thompson Adams. Bye-bye.